Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something we all secretly do but don't openly admit. Sleeping with our dogs. Now, if you think it's just because Spot looks adorable when he's curled up like a cinnamon roll, science is here to tell you that it's much deeper than that. Yes, deeper than the Great Canyon and twice as comforting. Researchers at Canisius College in Buffalo, New York, because if there's one thing Buffalo knows, it's how to survive with warmth, found that about 70% of dog owners let their furry companions share their bed or at least the same room. And it's not just because they make excellent foot warmers. Oh no, folks, it turns out there's more to this than just not wanting to feel lonely on a Friday night. The scientists discovered that bed sharing happens mostly among older folks, those living solo, and owners of small breeds. That's right, it's mostly those tiny pooches that need a ladder to hop onto the mattress. Sharing a bed with a dog isn't just a sign of love, it's like a nightly ceremony that strengthens our emotional bond. Imagine that. It's like getting therapy without the hefty bill. Apparently, this cuddly interaction can tweak brain chemistry, lower stress, and brighten up your mood. Who needs meditation apps when you have a fluffy therapist at home, right? So do you sleep with your dog occasionally, regularly, or every single night like it's the slumber party of the century? Drop a comment. I'm dying to know how you folks handle the midnight tail wags and dream barks. Why do we feel so darn good sleeping next to a dog? Picture this. You crawl into bed, and your furry friend curls up beside you. They're warm, cozy, and breathing softly, maybe letting out a big old yawn before plopping their head on your leg. At that moment, all the day's stress just melts away like butter on a hot pancake. Your brain's like, hey, it's chill time, you're safe. This isn't just a heartwarming moment, it's science, folks. Having a dog nearby actually lowers your cortisol, that nasty stress hormone, and bumps up oxytocin, the I love you hormone. Talk about a mood booster. But wait, there's more. When your pup snoozes next to you, your heartbeats might start doing a little synchronized dance. Seriously, studies say so. This kind of sync-up usually happens between deeply connected creatures. Moms and their babies, lovebirds, and surprise, surprise, you and your pooch. It's like your dog is saying, hickory, hey, you're my pack now. For a dog, this means total trust and feeling safe. So next time your dog snuggles up, just remember, that's not just a nap. It's a bonding experience with a side of stress relief. All right, folks, let me tell you something about dogs. You know, those four-legged fur balls that seem to exist solely to make us feel better about our own miserable lives. They're like our emotional support clowns without the creepy face paint. Picture this. You're going through a rough patch. Your relationship hits the skids. You move to a new city where you don't know a soul. Or maybe you're just feeling lonelier than a Wi-Fi signal in the middle of nowhere. And who's there to save the day? Not your chatty neighbor or your motivational podcast, but your trusty old dog. I mean, at night, when the silence is louder than your uncle at Thanksgiving and your anxious thoughts are doing the Macarena in your brain, there's your dog. Not saying a word, not offering unsolicited advice like maybe try yoga. Just being there like a silent monk, but furrier and with worse breath. Science even backs this up. Apparently, petting a dog helps your brain release neurotransmitters that calm you down. Who knew puppies were so scientifically advanced? Take that, therapist. And for those battling insomnia, depression, or that awful feeling of being lost, a dog sleeping next to you is like a big fuzzy nightlight chasing away the boogeyman of loneliness. So, if you got your own story about how your dog helped you through a tough time, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. You never know, you might just help someone else out there who's in need of a furry knight in shining armor. All right, folks, let's talk about something truly groundbreaking. Dogs and their unexpected talent for transforming our sleeping habits. I mean, who knew that our furry friends are actually the sleep gurus we never knew we needed? Think about it. Dogs are creatures of habit. They love their routines, their predictability. Honestly, they got more structure than my life on a good day. If your pooch hits the sack at, say, 10 p.m., guess what? You're likely to follow suit. So forget about scrolling through Instagram until 2 in the morning. Your canine coach is here to whip your bedtime routine into shape. And no, I'm not kidding. Turns out, scientists have discovered that sharing your sleep space with a dog can help you develop a more regular sleep schedule. Suddenly, you're hitting the hay, waking up at the same time, feeling like you've just nailed the sleep lottery. It's magic for those of us with wacky work hours, home office dwellers, or anyone who's watched their body clock spin like a roulette wheel during stressful times. Your dog becomes this natural alarm clock and sleep hygiene expert rolled into one without the need for apps, gadgets, or that annoying electronic voice. And the best part? There's zero pressure. Your dog simply gives you a look like, "Hey, human, it's snooze o'clock." Before you know it, you're living your best, most rested life without even realizing it. Who knew that your pet pooch could be the ultimate life coach? Dogs, ladies and gentlemen, not just man's best friend, but the unsung heroes of a good night's sleep. So, folks, let's talk about sleeping with your dog. Sounds cozy, right? You, your fluffy best friend, and dreams of endless belly rubs. But hold up, it's not always the fairy tale, it seems. Picture this. You're in dreamland, riding a unicorn or whatever, and suddenly, bam, you're jolted awake. No, it's not the ice cream truck outside. It's a four-legged bedmate practicing tap dance in its sleep. Turns out, according to some fancy research, our dogs are the secret agents of sleep disruption, like tiny furry ninjas. They shift, shuffle, and sometimes snore louder than your uncle after Thanksgiving dinner. And have you ever been woken up by doggy sleep barking? It's like they're reliving that squirrel chase from last Tuesday. You're lying there, half awake, wondering if you suddenly transported into a canine action movie. Next thing you know, your pup's doing a little jig right there on your bed. And you're helpless, just a sleepy bystander in this midnight circus. So if you find yourself waking up more exhausted than a sloth on a treadmill, maybe, just maybe, it's time to question if Mr. Fluffy Pants is the reason. No need to kick them out or call a dog therapist. Just consider relocating their snooze spot a bit or invest in earplugs. Your call. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round because I've got some mind-blowing news for you. Dogs help us fight anxiety. Yeah, you heard me right. Ever notice how you can suddenly breathe easier when a dog is around? And I don't mean metaphorically, like that moment when you take off your pants after a long day. I mean literally easier breathing. Scientists say that hanging out with a dog turns you into a Zen master. Your breathing gets all deep, smooth, and slow, like you've just become one with the universe. Now, for those who struggle with anxiety or PTSD, dogs are like furry little therapists, minus the ridiculous hourly rates and the let's talk about your feeling sessions. They've trained these pooches to be professional sleepers lying next to folks who've been through the ringer. Their mission? To slap a do not disturb sign on your nightly panic attacks. For some people, especially veterans, first responders, and healthcare workers, these canine companions are the unsung heroes who guard the fortress of your sanity during the night. If you've noticed that you sleep better with a dog in the room, it's not just some fairy tale. It's scientifically proven. Dogs are the kind of medicine that doesn't come in a bottle. Just by being their adorable, snuggly selves, they're out there saving the world, one wag at a time. Here's a little secret, folks. Dogs aren't just our emotional support clowns. They're basically furry health supplements. You think I'm kidding? Science backs me up on this one. So picture this. You've got this oversized fluff ball shedding all over your couch, leaving behind enough hair to knit another dog. Annoying, right? But guess what? All those little microbes on Fido's fur are actually building up your immune system, especially for kids. I'm telling you, start them young. Turns out early puppy bacteria exposure might just scare off future allergies and asthma. Who knew dog slobber was essentially a vitamin shot? But it's not just the little ones cashing in on the benefits. Adults, I haven't forgotten you. When you pet a dog, it's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system. You go from stress head with a blood pressure higher than a cat on a hot tin roof to Zen master in seconds. Some smarty pants in Japan even found that regular doggy cuddles can boost your brain power and fend off heart disease. Talk about a multitasking pup. And here's the kicker. Want the full health package? Let them sleep in your bed. I know, they hog the covers like it's their job, but their peaceful snoozing is like a lullaby for your body. Calming your breathing, steadying your pulse. You stay in the prime of health just because that slobber machine is snoring away next to you. Unbelievable, right? So next time someone rolls their eyes at your pampered pooch, just tell them, it's not just a dog, it's a healthcare provider. All right, folks, let's talk about the joys and potential perils of sharing your bed with your dog. Now, cuddling up with Fido might sound like a dream come true unless you're one of those people who break out in hives at the mere sight of a dog hair or can't tolerate even the faintest hint of eau de canine. At night, one twitch from Rover, and suddenly you're reenacting a scene from The Exorcist. And don't get me started on the hygiene factor. Some dogs come back from their walks like they've just been on a mud wrestling tour, bringing home everything from dirt to enough parasites to start their own band. It's like they think they're auditioning for America's Got Fleas. So a little cleanliness goes a long way here. Wash those paws after walks. Keep up with flea and tick treatments. And if you're sharing sheets with your pooch, you might want to consider changing that bed linen more often than your socks. Oh, and your dog's mood's worth noting. If your sleepy time buddy suddenly starts giving your bed the cold shoulder, it might not be because you snore. Your pup might just be feeling achy or grumpy or both, kind of like me before my first coffee. Especially those senior dogs. Getting up on the bed can be harder for them than remembering where they buried their favorite bone. Offering them a comfy spot next to your bed can be a win-win. You get your space and they get to keep their dignity, and maybe a little extra sleep. So should you sleep with your dog? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's like the canine version of deciding whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Ultimately, it's your call. If you're snoozing peacefully, the dog's happily dreaming of chasing squirrels, and everyone wakes up without a growl, why not? For many, it's a way to strengthen the bond, find some peace, and hang out more with their furry best friend. But if you wake up feeling like you've been in a wrestling match with a fur-covered alarm clock, it might be time to experiment. Maybe move the dog's bed next to yours, or let them chill in the bedroom, but off the bed. The key is not to turn shared sleep into a one-sided sacrifice. Both you and your pup should be comfy. This isn't about a strict yes or no. It's more about finding that sweet spot of, is this cozy? And do we still love each other in the morning? Ladies and gentlemen, if any of these tales hit home, do me a favor. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe like your dog's judging you for not doing it sooner. We're diving into real doggy life, quirks, science, and a little bit of soul. Share this with fellow dog lovers. You might just help someone decode their furry friend's latest antics.